What if everything you've been told about the rape allegations against Bhagavan Nityananda Parmeshivam is factually incorrect? We're going to bypass the headlines and dive straight into the official case file. This analysis isn't based on opinions, it's based strictly on documented facts from medical reports, court orders, and the records themselves. Let's see what the evidence actually says.
Now that's a powerful statement, but it's not my opinion. It's not a claim. It's the conclusion you reach when you look at the evidence in the official case file. After going through everything, we're going to lay out the documented facts for you, and we're starting with a medical contradiction that is simply impossible to ignore.
You know, the entire case really comes down to one central, glaring medical impossibility. To get it, we have to look at the documented medical histories of the two people at the center of this. Okay, the timeline here is absolutely crucial. Documentary evidence, which was obtained through a U.S. court order from the University of Michigan, confirms the accuser was diagnosed with 4 highly contagious, incurable STDs way back in 2004. Now, that's a full year before the first alleged incident was even supposed to have happened. Now compare that with the state-mandated medical record for Bhagavan Nityananda Parmeshivam. The report dated September 8, 2014 from Victoria Hospital shows he had 0 STDs. This isn't just a small inconsistency, it's a massive medical paradox right at the very heart of the case.
But that medical paradox, that's really just scratching the surface. The state-mandated potency tests, well, they paint an even clearer clinical picture. And the numbers here, they really don't lie.
So here's the number you need to remember. The medical report from Victoria Hospital, dated September 8, 2014, records Bhagavan's total testosterone level, and that number is 12.5 nanograms per deciliter.
Now, you're probably wondering, is that high, is that low? Well, let's put that into perspective. As you can see, a normal, healthy adult male has a testosterone level somewhere between 240 and 830. Bhagavan's level was 12.5. We're talking less than 6% of the lowest possible normal value. Medically speaking, these are the kinds of levels you'd find in a prepubescent child.
This condition has a very specific medical name, and it's confirmed right in the Victoria Hospital report. Hypogonadophic hypogonadism. I know, it's a mouthful, but what it means is a chronic disorder that takes years and years to develop. And the result? Complete erectile dysfunction and a total absence of libido. It makes sexual activity a medical impossibility.
And if you thought that was it, the 2014 medical report just keeps stacking up the evidence. It documents a whole range of other factors. It notes a significant varicocele, calcification, and insignificant penile blood flow, all of which are major physical roadblocks to sexual function. The report also recorded bilateral gynecomastia, which is a feminizing characteristic. And to top it all off, a psychological exam found him completely unresponsive to sexual urges. It's not just one thing, it's a comprehensive clinical picture of long-standing total medical impotence.
And please, don't just take my word on this. The legal weight of this evidence is huge. India's highest court, the Supreme Court of India, officially recognized these medical records as, and I'm quoting here, sterling quality evidence. They didn't just acknowledge it, they mandated that it had to be used in the trial proceedings.
Okay, so we have this absolute mountain of medical evidence. The next logical question is, how did all of this play out in an actual court of law? Let's look at the legal proceedings, both in the United States and in India.
Let's start in the U.S. In case number 213-CV-00526, the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of Ohio made a pretty decisive ruling. The court not only sided with Bhagavan Nityananda Parmeshivam, but it fined the accuser nearly $500,000. And why? For making false statements under oath.
And what about back in India? Well, court order number CRL.P 3253/2012 is crystal clear. The Karnataka High Court stated that the 2012 arrest of Bhagavan was illegal, without any authority, and contrary to law. And then they quashed the entire proceedings.
So let's recap. The medical science says it's impossible. The courts, both in America and India, have handed down exonerations. Case closed, right? That's what you'd think. But when you analyze the timeline, something else becomes very clear. A documented pattern of continued actions against Bhagavan, even after all this exonerating evidence came to light.
Just look at this sequence. In 2012, his arrest is ruled illegal. In 2014, a U.S. court fines his accuser for lying. Later that same year, the state's own medical tests confirm he is clinically impotent. The facts are undeniable. And yet,
4 years later, in 2018, the Indian Ministry of External Affairs rejected his application to renew his passport. Documentary evidence proves there's a huge disconnect between the facts on record and the actions of state bodies.
And this is really what it all boils down to. It's this massive collision between the official, documented evidence and the public narrative that's been circulated for years.
Let's just break it down. The narrative you hear is wanted fugitive. But the case file reveals that Interpol has actually rejected requests for any notice. The narrative is all about a rape allegation, but we have a U.S. court exoneration and definitive medical proof showing it's an impossibility. The narrative even tried to shift to consensual sex, but a lawyer's letter, dated July 16, 2018, clarifies that was just media misrepresentation, a claim which the medical science on record makes impossible anyway.
So we're left with a fundamental question. The whole point of this was just to present the documented facts from the official record. So when those facts from medical science, from U.S. and Indian court orders, from international bodies, are in direct conflict with the public narrative, what do you believe? The evidence demands a reevaluation. The choice is yours.